I was kind of in a battle with myself. Should I make this video? Should I not? I made so many promises and I failed to keep them, honestly. But then I decided, fuck that. I'm going to make it public. And I will make it whatever I can. I will do whatever the fucking possible to make it a reality. It will become a reality because it is right now 1 a.m., 19 minutes. It is 2026. And what's different? You're asking yourself probably the best question, right? You've been in this for 3 years. 3 years you haven't won. For God's sake, Ariel. What the fuck is different now? Why are you so delusional you can still win if you hadn't in all of this time? And fair question. I'm going to tell you right now, it is a fair question. And honestly, can I win the person you're seeing currently on the camera? And the answer is 100% not. Guarantee I cannot. But that's the current me. That's the current self. I've just started a new... I haven't been here for a very long time, except the one time that I just uploaded the video about I did it to myself. You are your own villain. You did it to yourself. The villain of your own damn story. And I thought about it. And it's so powerful because it's so true. Now, you're asking yourself the good question. So, if you're claiming to be working hard and you're actually working hard, how the fuck are you still where you're at right now? Which is nothing. It's just me, the computer. And here's my answer. I've been fortunate enough to just... Okay, so I'm going to split it into two parts because I want to make this as precise as I can. And I want to try to make this as short as I can, but with as much impact as possible. So I'm going to say it and I'm going to try to be fast about it. The first reason is the conviction is locked. And what I mean by that, it is this. If we go to my conviction, you can see over here, I want to see the exact same words I wrote. Wrote it over here. Right. So if I pull up my conviction, you can see the breakthrough. The real cause. For years I believed my problem were perfectionism, indecision, overthinking, and slow output. But those were symptoms. The real cause was I chose the wrong vehicle. I was trying to sell products I didn't truly believe in. Deep down, I feared they wouldn't deliver the true tangible value. That tiny doubt poisoned everything. My speed, my copy, my willingness to sell. And I can honestly see it finally. All of those years, I would do the research. I would go everything, get everything. But that would take like 20 days until I'm launching. Why? Because I'm researching and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But something pretty interesting happened lately. I realized even this is a lie. But what do I mean this is a lie? I wrote this down a long time ago, about 2 months ago. So nothing changed, right? And the change is a change of behavior. So what's so different? Well, the difference is I've been fortunate enough to see a course, But honestly, I'm just starting it out right now. Imperium Academy. It is completely free, which is crazy. And this has answered everything. Now let me explain before I do this. What happened? Basically, from when I went broke, I feel like 2 or 3 months ago, the last post was, I started asking myself, how? How is this possible? And then I was in a mastermind of Iman Gadzi, not a mastermind, the Money Making Challenge 2.0. And honestly, a lot of it didn't need it, didn't really give me enough value. And it was pretty similar to dropshipping, just in, AI. But then something interesting happened. He showed us the alchemy of self. And this was the one thing that made it all worth it. I saw it. And I saw in my alchemy of self, when I wrote the dream life was to feel pride with every sale, knowing I'm actually helping and actually providing value to my clients. And then I said, okay, what can I find? And I went and searched, and finally I found this, that I can even 2x, 10x, 30x the income of every client I'm going to talk to. Now, of course, it's not going to be every client, but I'm going to do my very best to do the best and really give it my all. Now, we've been neglecting a question that been all over my mind, right? Of course, on my mind. So what happened? Basically, I went into the AI businesses and I started rapid fire with every little tiny bit of money that I had. Boom, threw it on the business, and basically I wanted to learn fast. Okay, I mean fast. So I decided there is no time to waste anymore. So I went and spent on that course, that course. And honestly, I didn't give any of them really a chance. Because I went and I'm like, I cannot do the same mistake we would drop. Okay, so fuck that. Right? This course. And then I went and paid fucking $4,000 for a course. And I started really well. I started moving. But then I started declining. And I said, nothing changed. Nothing fucking changed. So how the fuck can I change if nothing changes? How can the future be different if nothing changes? But then, thank God, I've been fortunate enough to find Charlie. I don't even know how it happened. It actually happened like a day after I bought the $5,000 course. 4,000, sorry. I don't know why I said 5,000. But anyway, it's completely free. And when I started, I'm like, whoa. This is the best course I ever saw in my life. Because the level he goes towards explaining stuff in the mindset and why the mindset is important. I honestly, I thought I don't need it, because honestly, my mindset is pretty dialed in. But I was so wrong. I was so fucking wrong. And the one reason why I'm wrong, it is right in front of you. So like I said, we're trying to find a reason. How the fuck am I where I am? But then he said something very, very powerful that immediately, I'm like, that's the answer to everything. Now, forgive me, I'm not going to quote him the best, but he said something like this. We're not becoming who we are at the best self, right? When we're at the best, when we're doing really, really well. No. I'm going to pull the quote. Because this quote, I honestly feel like it's very important. So, a couple of things. Second order consequences, very, very powerful. Knew it, but I didn't know the amount of depth that goes into it. Then we have resistance, very powerful. I'm going to talk about it later. There it is. Humans are at constant war with themselves. The cycle for two versions of themselves, one which by nature builds them up to the point where they're behaving properly, acting on and what needed to be acting, doing the work, etc. The other version is destroying them and destroying all the progress they made. I'm going to repeat this. There's one version that builds, and there's one version that destroys every progress they made. All the progress and setting them backwards even to the starting of the average self of those between two states. It is the average man's states of the entrepreneurship existence. The clinical nature of progress naturally manifests in any individual chasing growth regardless where it may be in their life. And this fucked me up. Because this, with the next thing I'm going to tell you, answered everything. I know exactly, to the fucking tiniest detail, why I am where I am, and why is this going to change this time. And this is it. This was my life. This was my life. I would push very fucking hard. I would push. I'm not sleeping, not doing anything. I'm working. Boom. Hit the ceiling. And for me, for years, this was the ceiling. Where it is. Right, it's over here. This was the ceiling. This explains everything. Go over here. The ceiling, I would wake up early, high discipline, extreme execution, fast action, clear direction, low overthinking, momentum driven, strong identity, high tolerance for discomfort, emotionally stable. But on the days that I lose, which I notice is a very predictable pattern, which is crazy to say, but it's so predictable, would lead to this. Floor, late night relapse, just one last time, sleep target, weekly late, shame, disappointment, avoidance, easy dopamine, loss of traction, over planning, identity collapse, emotional, 3-day downward spiral. So even though I sacrificed everything, and I mean, I lost 15 kilograms, right? Kilograms of my entire body weight, more or less. I'm currently weighing about 60 kilograms. I don't know if I said I lost 60 kilograms. I lost 10 kilograms, 10 to 15, something like that. I was close to it in 70 kilograms, but now I'm 60. Because I just ate more. I ate less and slept less. And tried to do everything to grasp every tiny fucking time that I have to put it towards a better future. But the problem was, and I just understood it now, the level of this is no matter how hard I pushed and I went up, the cycle will naturally bring me down and regress even. So let's say this is the cycle, right? Like this. So I would go up very high. Then I'm going to hit a plateau, and then I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go up again. But this time I was even more down. And I said, okay. And then this is when I pulled the Instagram. And I actually looked at everything. And everything was so clear once again. You're not going to be able to see me, but you're going to... This. The pattern. The 1st of January. Boom. Boom. Right in front of my fucking eyes. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice, it wasn't third time. It was 10,000 times. Again, the pattern is extremely predictable and dangerous. I did it to myself. I'm the villain of my own damn story. Right. It is very powerful. And it's so eye-opening, like, everything was this. And like Charlie says, that Sam says, people don't have personal life problems. Sorry, people don't have business problems. They have personal problems in life that reflects in their business. All of this time, I knew something was wrong. I knew back even in 2024, 38 lessons. We're going to see the first one, find your one obstacle, improve your worth. I knew that it's important, but I didn't understand the regression part. I didn't understand that I'm going here, and then I'm going back down all the way, and then I'm going up again, and then I'm going back down all the way. Right? Achilles heel, right? I knew that my problem is Achilles heel was self-sabotage and over-investing in task, an illusion of productivity, but I didn't understand those. All of this, right? This is very, very true. This is the regression that I didn't understand, but it's a second from success, 100 step backs. Now, I wouldn't go and say it's 100 steps back, but it is way, way, way more bad to lose, like, in terms of pain points. If you've seen Imperium Academy, you'll understand. When you're coping to your pain, it is minus, and it's doubled or tripled. It depends on the worst amount of coping you're doing, right? And if I'm coping to the addiction, I just put it 1,000 XP on it, right? And if you're asking yourself, what do you mean by XP? I'll explain in a second. This video is going to be long, but I want to make it one time. And honestly, you don't know this, but I've started a YouTube channel, been documenting my journey over there too. But I said I must put something over here too. And also, what I've recorded for 31 minutes, basically going over everything here like this, and even more depth. My fucking microphone was not on. So hopefully now you can hear me. And fucking hell. This. Where it is. So, the level of this problem. This is the obstacle. This is the answer to everything. And if I crack, it is impossible for me to lose. Now listen to me. If I crack this, it is impossible for me to lose. Now listen to me. If I cracked this, it is impossible to me to lose. And by this, I mean all of this. Meaning, I need to fight resistance. I must fight resistance. I must never regress again. And even if I do regress, the personal floor need to be flipped. Meaning, my best now should be my tolerable floor. Anything lower than that is intolerable. It is pain. It is fucking suffering. I cannot let that happen. I cannot let anything lower than the top ceiling be a standard. It is my floor. And as you can see, for years I'm telling you that my problems are indecision, overthinking, overplanning, and slow output. I believe I said something different, but essentially this is it. Perfectionism too. So he told us So how can we find resistance? Okay, so I got cut off because it was too long. So how can we find resistance? Well, first I found my personal, exactly what I said. I'm not gonna read it in the future, but basically this is exactly what I wrote. So how can we find resistance? Well, resistance is all around us, but how can we find it, really find it? And then he showed me this, showed everyone this. This is scary how much this is accurate. Every single one of these is resistance. In almost every single one of them, I felt, I've dealt, I failed to fight, and I coped. Especially perfectionism, especially learning, especially research. I failed to do the one thing that matters, the work. I would optimize, I would do systems, I would work, and move nowhere. Or even if I moved up, this is where I would end. Because let's say I moved up, I'm waking up early, I'm doing everything that I need to do, I'm doing everything and more. I'm starting to get back up, I'm starting to get the momentum, boom, I'm falling to addiction. Right, so it's not that fast, right? I'm falling to the addiction. Then what happens? Then most likely my night is fucked. Okay, then what happens if my night is fucked? Well, if my night is fucked, you can say bye-bye to this, right? Because I would wake up late, defeated, because the day feels like it's over. It's okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to wake up early tomorrow. If it doesn't happen in terms, I don't want to wake up early another day. It is lost. It's bad momentum compounded negatively, which is bad. So we know if that happens, this happens. But we also, I didn't know this, but it's here. I'm going to do double tomorrow. It is somewhere over here. I don't remember where, and I'm not going to waste your time on this. But basically, it is already there. And also, what did I wrote? Overthinking, not clarity. Boom, this affects this. This affects this. Everything is a cycle. Everything makes sense. Everything is doomed to stay that way unless I break the cycle. Break the pattern today or the loop returns tomorrow. But it's so much bigger than that. It is a loop that can happen to you. Then I understood something very powerful. I don't remember when I was cut, but basically, yeah. The one cycle, it is everything. All right, break the pattern today or the loops return tomorrow. It is not this. It is break the pattern today or the year will return. And year after year after year after nothing changes. Because the regression stayed the same. No matter how hard I pushed up, the regression would pull me down. Oftentimes, even worse than baseline. And you know, when I failed, the last time I failed, which was a few days ago, being completely honest, I was so mad. I was like, how? You know this is the one thing. How can you still fail? Then you can't change. Then it's over. But I decided, wait, fuck that. It is the one thing. Let's lock it in. It is the one thing. I solve this, I solve everything. At least in points of getting to point A to point B. I solve this. I solve everything. And I truly mean it. If I solve this, I solve everything. And this led me to understand. Find your one obstacle, prove your worth. Everyone is given one defining obstacle, the single fight they must win to earn the life they want. For me, it is addiction, the fight of my life. Every time a true opportunity appears, this is the test placed in front of me. And every test I lost, the answer is clear. I'm not worthy yet. But the obstacle is also the key. It is relentless because it's the final gatekeeper. Not a distraction, not a flaw, but the bottleneck of my existence. Everything I want locked behind this fight: freedom, opportunity, dignity, legacy. The pain is not warning. It is proof. Win this. And then I decided, what if I make it this one goal? The one goal is to fight this. The one goal is not to win at business. The one goal is to win at personal problems in life. So I decided to put it fucking everywhere. So the recording is going to stop and it's already late. It is 2 a.m. I failed to go to sleep early today, which is one of my regression. But here it is. I started Imperium Academy a few days ago, about 25 days ago, something like that. Changed my life already. I'm not yet sure how much. We'll see. We'll let this year talk. But here it is. It is currently I have nothing except my room. 24. And at this point, it's just rude how many times my recording gets cut. So let me just say what I wanted to say, and then I'm gonna leave. So I want to talk about a little bit about Imperium Academy, what happened. So I started, and it started like a lot of other courses. But then something happened. After locking in and understanding exactly what is the game? What is so predictable? What is the pattern? I started to see a way through. But it only happened about 22 days in, which is crazy to say, but 22 days in, I did zero work. Zero. Now, if you're saying work, I did the work, or at least this is what I thought was work. But then I opened my eyes and I saw everything I'm doing, everything I've spent 15 hours a day working, almost every single fucking day, was resistance. It was being comfortable. It was not facing the pain head on. And this is so crazy because it happened for years. Even when I believed I was predictable, I was productive, it was resistance. And I'm the resistance. And I went and did in 2 days what I couldn't do in 20. Now here it is. I'm saying this and then I'm gone. You're not going to see me for a while, or I'm going to start documenting here again. So let's do this like this. It is currently, what time is it? Oh, I got 1 minute till the recording is over. So yeah, it is currently 2 a.m. Exactly 2 a.m. 1:59, right? This is everything I have. This is everything I have. And the computer. This year will be different because this year I'm fighting the right battle. This is the battle. This is the battle. This over here, upper. This is the battle. This is day 1023 in my entrepreneur journey. Of nothing. Get this through your head. I'm 1,000 days in, 1,023 days in, and have nothing. and only because the pattern is predictable. 10 seconds. Okay. Fuck. Everything is going to change because I know exactly what I need to change. 2026 will be my year. I guarantee it. I stand by it. And fuck, that's it. That's it. You will see. 2026 will be